Who are we speaking with?
Jaksun Grice, Vice Principal at Chief Julius School, Fort McPherson, Northwest Territories.
Jaksun, is it okay if we film you?
Perfect.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so Jaksun, tell us a little bit. Now, my wife and my friend's wife know your uncle. That's how we got this connection in the middle of nowhere here. Could you tell us a little bit about your community and what we should know about it as we drive through?
Well, the community of Fort McPherson is primarily the people that live here are Gwich'in, and they've been here.
What is Gwich'in?
Gwich'in is First Nation ethnic group, or I guess the Gwich'in linguistic group, and they've been in this land for thousands of years, and they have documented history through archaeological work, and nowadays they've also been recording their oral histories and everything, and they've lived in this land for thousands of years, hunted and fished, and basically they led a very nomadic lifestyle for a long time. And then when the trappers came in, or the fur trading came in the late 1800s, then people moved into communities I guess right here in Fort McPherson, where a fur trading post was set up, and then people started shifting their lifestyle from a nomadic hunting and gathering lifestyle to hunting and trapping to work in the fur trading industry. And then from there, once the fur trading industry died, then it has gradually progressed into just a general services, government service type town.
Okay, well that's neat. So as we drive up the Dempster, what is it that we, what should we do here? Tell us about the things that you've been here for 5 years, and you're an outdoors guy. That's clear from our conversation before this. What do you think is spectacular here that people should, stop driving, get out of your car or get off your motorbike and do something locally?
Well, I definitely think just outside of town we have the Richardson Mountains.
Oh yeah.
I would highly recommend people stop their car, get out and hike. There's wonderful hiking there where you can literally open up your car door and within 10 minutes you're in an alpine environment. And it's wonderful ridge walking. In the springtime, around near the end of June, there's wonderful wildflowers. All through the summer, it's spectacular. Even winter hiking in March and April is great as well. We also have the caribou who migrate through the mountains generally in September, October, and then also they'll be coming through pretty soon now in March or in April, May.
I'm going to miss that.
To go to the northern Yukon. So stuff like that's spectacular when you can sit in your car or on a ridge top in the mountains and see thousands of caribou walking by. Really, you can't put a price tag on that. And it's just spectacular country. The people here are wonderful, and really there's really not a lot of tourists here, so when you do come up, you're kind of all by yourself, and you get a really unique experience.
Yeah, it is shocking how few people are here. I think so far today, I've seen 10 vehicles, and I've been driving for hours.
Yeah.
And I feel really comfortable about it. I think the road is in really quite good shape in the winter. It's nice and firm and everything. But so there are enough vehicles that if you get stuck, there'll be someone there to help. But it is remote, and there's a beauty of that. You don't have rush hour traffic. You don't have all these grumpy people trying to pass you and all that. It's awesome. Now, a lot of people are, including myself before I came up here a couple of times, are worried about the wildlife. Are they going to get mauled by bears? Are polar bears going to jump out of the trees and eat them, and et cetera, et cetera. So could you talk to that, because you like to hike, you're very outdoorsy. Do you walk around like Rambo carrying all kinds of weaponry?
I don't actually. I would recommend for anybody who's coming up here and who is going to hike that they have a bit of experience in hiking and general bear safety protocols, and also just being self-prepared. So if you do get yourself in a jam or get an injury, you kind of know what to do. And there's lots of opportunities for leisurely strolls along ridges in the mountains, but you need to be aware there are grizzly bears in the mountains and stuff. But you just have to take general precautions like you would do anywhere.
So what would that be? When you go out for a hike 15 minutes away from your car in one of these beautiful mountain ranges, what do you do? Let's say in the summer. Let's make it easy.
Basically, all I do in the summer, I got a little bit of lunch, water bottle, a canister of bear spray, and I just go and walk and go enjoy it. And what's really different up here in general, the wildlife isn't. They're not the bears, the moose, everything, they're not used to people. So the reaction to people is generally to run. They don't.
That's pretty smart. We are a dangerous animal, aren't we?
Yeah, and I've had a lot of experiences with the bears up here, and I can't be 100% sure, but just be cautious, make noise, be calm, and just be prepared. And there's lots of books and literature on bear safety. And
all right. So it sounds like don't be paranoid. Have a nice time. Enjoy your vacation.
Yeah.
Take some general precautions that you really would do anywhere. I mean, British Columbia, it's the same thing, of course.
Well, one thing I say to people is I would rather be hiking in those mountains than in Banff. I would feel much safer here.
Yes. Though there is a lot less density of wildlife, isn't there?
There is, but I guess with the bears, they're not conditioned to humans.
Right, like and garbage, and they don't say human equals food.
Yeah, so
candy bar wrappers.
So it's I would say it's kind of more of a natural interaction.
I see.
Out there.
Okay, great. Now, I heard something about the Mad Trapper. That has something to do with this town, doesn't it? Tell us a little bit about that, because this is back in the gold rush days. Am I right?
It was actually a little bit after.
Okay.
And there's a fellow who, well, I guess acclaimed or named Albert Johnson, came strolling into town.
Mm-hmm. This town?
Into Fort McPherson. Nobody really knows where. He came floating down the river on a handmade raft out of logs and rope, and he rafted into town. And he came in and he went to the trading post and bought a canoe and a tent, year's worth of supplies, guns, ammo, and he went off into the bush. He never told anybody where he was going. And I guess he set up a cabin on the Rat River, which is about 30, 40 kilometers outside of Fort McPherson, and started trapping. And he apparently kept to himself, but then he started putting sticks into the local people's traps. So the local people reported him to the RCMP, and the RCMP went to investigate, and they were just going to go to his cabin and have a visit and see what was going on. And when they approached his cabin, he wouldn't open the door, and then eventually the Mad Trapper started firing shots at the RCMP, and he took one out. He killed an officer, and then basically that incident started one of the biggest manhunt in RCMP history at that time, and it eventually went over several weeks. This man, Albert Johnson, trekked through the mountains in the middle of winter, wearing his snowshoes backwards, trying to evade the RCMP. The RCMP ended up... But
they get their man.
Well, they eventually got their man, but they ended up using the first aerial search in Canadian history happened up here, and was they managed to get a plane up here, and they started to use it. And eventually they tracked him down. He was actually walking it amidst a herd of caribou. So his tracks were being ran over by the caribou, and the RCMP couldn't follow him.
Clever fella.
Yeah.
So what happened to the Mad Trapper?
Eventually he got in a gunfight in the middle of the Eagle River in the Yukon, which you'll actually pass on the Dempster Highway. The Mad Trapper died at just a few kilometers upriver from where the highway crosses the Eagle River. And they got in a firefight, and the RCMP took him out.
Yeah, don't mess with the Mounties, man. That's a great story. Anything else we should know about the community?
I would just say I've been here for 5 years, and I was born and raised in Vancouver, and I love this place. It's great. The Gwich'in people are wonderful. The community of Fort McPherson is wonderful, and just the surrounding area, all the way up the Dempster Highway, is some of the most phenomenal country you'll ever see, and I would just recommend people to come up and see it and enjoy it.
Yeah, without a doubt. It is some of the prettiest stuff I've ever seen. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.